What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that. Running a tad late. The baby, the toddler, the 2-year-old, he said, hey, I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna start crying right now. So I was kind of dealing with that. Rose, welcome. Alex, welcome. Dirty, how you guys doing? Dirty Fowlers, is that you, Thomas? Who is Dirty Fowlers? I've heard that. I've heard that one before, but I feel like, or no, that's Thomas's son. Haha. Yes, correct. Yes, no, maybe. So correct me if I'm wrong. How are we all doing here tonight? Friday night live stream. It's been a couple weeks since we've had one of these, huh? Brian, what's going on? I am also good. I'm also good. Um, Excited for the weekend. Yeah, that's what I thought. My memory, it takes a second to kick in there every once in a while. What about Tesla, guys? I just got an alert on my phone right before I came back downstairs, and it said Elon Musk just became richer than Warren Buffett. That's crazy. Look at this thing. It's absolutely nuts. What was it back in when March? Yeah, when all this started, hit a low of 350. We're at 1542. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. Going to Tahoe. Ooh, I like it. Well, Thomas, if we can get to 35 viewers all at once, we're gonna give somebody some balls. We're gonna give them 2 balls to put in their mouth. And Rose, if you don't know what that is, I'm sorry. I know you're new here. Balls is an energy drink. BAWLS is how it's spelled. So don't want to cause any confusion, but anybody that isn't new to the channel, they know that inside joke. So now you know. David in the house. What's up, man? I had a few Tesla at 150 for a while. For a while. Ouch. Do I even want to ask where you sold? Tesla market cap greater than all the auto companies combined. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, what's up, Tim? Not much, guys. It was a rough week. It actually ended up being a red week. Let me hold on. My flux is starting to make everything dark. There we go. There we go. I can actually see again. You saw me I was like squinting. It's because I have a program. It's called Flux, where a certain time of day you put in when you usually go to bed, and it will start to dim your computer monitors so that your body naturally starts to wind down per se. So if you spend a lot of time in front of your computer, it could be something worth looking into. All right, where is my browser? It's up here. Okay. So let me pull this over here, and let's look over here. All right. Calendar. I really enjoyed trading today, and we're going to get into the trades from today here in a second, but I just want to check how we did. I actually didn't even input my trades yet from today, so let's do it together, shall we? Let me move this up here. Sorry, I was a little unorganized getting everything set up. Okay, here we go. I wasn't unorganized per se. I was a little behind because the little one is usually asleep by no later than like 7:30, and he's still awake. So the wife is dealing with him now. All right, so to the dashboard and add trade. I believe I just did these. We'll see if they're here. Today is the 10th. Trades, July, June. Where's the July ones? Where are they at? Yeah, they're all. Oh, nope, I didn't do it yet. Okay, so right click. Let me show you. I'll show you guys the process. I think I've shown you this before. I just closed it out by accident. Let me reopen it. Trade log. Trade log. Okay. So you pull over your trade log, and usually mine is much smaller. This is how it looks when you first pull it up. Right click, export. I have a folder dedicated to these. You put in the date, July 10th. You don't actually have to put it in, call it whatever you want, but this is obviously an easy way to identify it. It's a CSV file. We'll put that back over there because we don't need it. Actually, let me semi put it back where it was. Okay, that's good enough. Then we come over to import trades. We go to where that would be, which is right here. Open, import trades. There we go. The wife is upstairs. Yeah, she goes upstairs when I'm streaming. She likes to watch her TV shows and kind of stay away. Maybe one day I'll get her to join me, give you guys the back end of the operation per se. Is that a dog in the background? Oh yeah, that's Rags. He's a 13-year-old pug. He's getting up there. Actually, Rags looks like he's passed out, so that must have been Subi. She is a 10-year-old pug. Let me see if I can see him laying down over there. But yeah, we have hardwood floors, so anytime they start walking, you can hear them. You hear them in my videos a lot because they're pretty active during the day. I like to play with them as much as possible. Edgar Allan Pug, that's awesome. I actually went to I went to school with it was like the son of Edgar Allan Poe. It's pretty cool. His last name is Poe too. It was pretty cool. All right, so here's our trades from today. I didn't even save my charts, so we'll go over those. I just wanted to pull up the calendar real quick to see how we did overall. Had that bad day on Wednesday. So let's see. Let's just do quick math here in our heads. So 341, about 110. So yeah, so we're down about 200 on the week, but we did downsize after that red day. We cut our share size in half. We had just scaled up right here. We scaled up on the 6th, looking to start pressing the buttons a little bit more because we were running good towards the end of June, and so we said, hey, let's scale up. So we decided to wait until after the 4th, scaled up a little bit, and third day in, took us for a ride. So yeah, it happens. We scaled back down, and guess what? We still had some pretty solid days. An average day was about $30, I want to say. And yes, I know for anybody that is new here, this isn't some crazy, big size. I'm not one of those guys. We're still new to all this, right? We're not even 2 years into this. I've only been trading intensity since February of last year, so a little over a year. It takes time. I just had a guy on YouTube leave a comment today saying, how can you be making money trading this stuff? Well, I'm not making money right now, but I'm breaking even. And actually, I am a little profitable. Like, I am making money. I'm just not, making the big money. And my response to the guy, I actually put this in there pretty much, it was like a half hour ago, I think, where I said it's kind of like saying, tomorrow, I just decide that I want to be a UFC fighter, and the next day, I want to just go jump in the ring and, start contending for a championship with no experience. I have no idea how to fight, which is a lie. I actually trained in UFC, well, MMA, whatever you want to. I did a little jiu-jitsu, mainly boxing, for a little over a year. I started as exercise, and it turned into something pretty cool, but it's pretty expensive. So that was actually why I stopped doing it. And but it doesn't mean anything. But it does give me a way of knowing that even after a year straight, I was going 4 times a week for a year, that I absolutely I would still have zero clue of how to hang with even amateurs after a full year of training. It's just, it boggles my mind that some people come into this and they really think it's as easy as hitting buy and sell. And it is as easy as hitting buy and sell. But everything that goes into it, the behind the scenes, the risk management, the consistency, all of that, they they don't get it. They just don't. They just want to come here. They want to see the YouTubers. They want to see people like Ross putting up $200,000 days. That's all they care about. What they don't know is that Ross has been trading for a very long time. He has been trading for a very long time. Whether I believe in his tactics or not, he has put in the time. He understands the market. He knows how the market works. You can't just start any job, whether it's sports, whether it's engineering, whether it's whatever. You can't say, hey, SpaceX, I've never built a rocket before, but I'd like to build one for you because I think I know more than you do. Okay, good luck. Like, that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. They could literally give you the blueprints to how they build what they build, and you probably still wouldn't be able to build it because you don't know how it all works. It's just, anyways. Let me catch up here. Tell them you're on track to being part of the 10%, and that's one of the things. I'm not that person. Again, I've said this for a long time, that you're not going to find another channel on YouTube that does what I do. And what do I mean by that? I'm not bad mouthing any other person on YouTube, but what I am saying is the transparency here, as well as I've never deleted a comment that didn't need to be deleted. So I welcome everybody. You want to have a conversation, an argument, you want to do whatever, let's do it. Like, you're going to learn, even from an argument, you'll learn something. You'll learn that you were right. You'll learn that you were wrong. And in between, you might actually learn something you didn't know. The person that is trying to shove in your face that you don't know something, they might actually throw a little nugget in there that you didn't know, even if they are wrong. So, I just hit show. That was an accident, probably. Not probably. I was being funny because I saw it was addedly. Yeah, we can leave it in there. I'm sure he doesn't mind. But he can also delete it if he wants to. The new edition. Did I just add something to that spiel? About the comments? But it's true. The only comments I delete are obvious spam. And, I mean, yeah, I was going to say obvious spam, but then, like, those sex comments that they keep, there's people going around with spam accounts, and they're like, hot, sexy girls, and they put a timestamp. And it's like all the time now. I have to remove that crap. It's annoying. Yeah, see, GDT says he gets it too. Those, and like the people trying to sell their, like, they'll put their email addresses in there saying, oh, I got mentored by this person and blah, 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 blah. And so, I mean, those are the only ones that I delete. So I welcome the hostility because it doesn't bother me. I've been there. I've done that. You know, I've been on both sides of it. Mainly just when I play video games, though. I like to rage a little bit when I play some video games. But it is what it is, right? But if you want to bring the negativity, go ahead. I'm gonna leave it there for everyone to see it, just so that they know that's who you are. That's how I look at it. You want to take that route in life? Be my guest. That's not who I am. And I welcome you to come back in 10 years, and I would love to see where you're at. And I hope that I'm still here, and that is my way of shoving it in your face. Because back then, when you were saying, oh, you're just trading for $50 a day, well, hopefully I'm making $5,000 a day in 10 years, and I can just give you the middle finger. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But all right, let me catch up here. B's in the house, what's up? And then he says GDT's in the house, what's up? I don't even know what I added to the spiel there. I felt like it was somewhat the same. But yeah, so pretty rough week. Let's stop looking at that. It is what it is. I've never hidden anything literally from day one. You guys have seen everything here on the channel. So like that's what I do here. It is. Everybody knows that at this point. But if you're new, that's what I do here. I like to show you everything. Tesla, obviously, freaking just crazy. So SPAQ, somebody asked me earlier as well why I had such small share size. And when I was trading SPAQ, you see this right here. and you see 25 cents on the scale. So if I hit 25 cents, you see 30 shares. But what you guys don't know is I usually, when I'm trading, my charts look like this. I love being able to see the previous day. So when I pulled SPAQ up originally, this is what I'm looking at. And believe it or not, it's actually up to $1 here. So, but when I pulled it up, it was 50 cents, which is right there. So whatever it was at the time, it was 50 cents. So I pulled it up, and it might be because just of that little wick when it went higher. So when I pulled it up, that wick wasn't there, and now it is. So, but anyways, that's where I got the 50 cent button. So yes, the range on it was smaller, but when you scale out, look at the range this thing has overall, which is why it gave me the smaller share size, and I was just following my plan. So I saw it said 50 cents. I hit the 50 cent button. That's what it gave me. So it just happened to be one of those times where the share size was a little bit smaller, and we didn't get any ads. So that's the other thing. We jumped in this. This thing jumped right back down. We actually caught it on the way down, and yeah, it is what it is. GDT got this one today as well, and it was pretty beautiful on his end. But yeah, there's really nothing to say. We tried to scale out of this. We were looking for it to go back towards low a day and possibly even fade. We were looking for this because if we would have broke, I was really looking for my remainders to come down here like it did eventually after it went high of day. And I was really looking for this to kind of fade the rest of the day. I was looking for this thing to come way down, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Is it better to trade with real money even if it is a small amount than to paper trade? In my opinion, it is hard to practice emotional control with paper trading. And thank you, Karking. That is a great point. And I actually was talking to David about this earlier. I believe that using real money 100% is more valuable because you are always going to hold yourself accountable. If you're paper trading, every trade that you get in, if you lose, who cares, right? It doesn't matter. So you can hit that button every single time knowing that if you lose, even if it's a small amount, that it doesn't matter because you can just reset, right? But if it's real money, even if it's a couple bucks, even if it's 50, like say you're trading a $25,000 account and you're only trading, 50 bucks a trade, even if it's only 50 bucks a trade and that means nothing to the overall account, that's still 50 bucks that you're losing. So the emotions behind knowing that you're losing that 50 bucks versus if it's on paper, you're not losing anything, it changes everything. Ask Thomas. I don't know if Thomas is in here yet. I haven't seen him say anything. I know his son's in here, but it's true. Even he got to that point. Mark Douglas tells you that if you go read his book, he's had people that Trading in the Zone, by the way, by Mark Douglas. He's had people that used to trade 10,000 share lots that in order to fix their issues, their emotional issues, he's had to scale them back to 1 share lots from 10,000. They were trading 10,000 share lots. He had to scale them back to 1 share lots for them to break out of their emotional bad habits that they had. So sometimes that's what it's going to take. But he does not recommend paper trading, again, because of the same things that I just told you. You're not going to have that emotional backing behind the trade. So I do feel using a small account with real money is much more valuable than paper trading. And if for some reason you do dwindle that account down, it's tuition, right? You're learning. It's no different than going to college. It's no different than taking prep courses, all those other courses that you can take to teach yourself things. You pay for those, right? Well, look at this as you're paying yourself to learn. So that's how I look at it. Where do you get these charts? This is DOS Trader. Where you get them, you can get them through a bunch of different brokers. You can actually get it right from DOS themselves if you really want to. I believe you can get it with data, actually, with no broker. So you can actually get these charts through DOS without even trading if you really wanted to. If you have a follow-up question there, Chili, feel free to ask. Didi, what's up, man? What's up in the house? AN closed the count challenge. What's that mean? Cough, cough, Trading Monkey, cough, cough. I give props to Trading Monkey. He found a way to do what he does best. entertain. He is an entertainer, and he does it well. He wants to be a successful day trader. When you listen to him talk, he really does. But in order for him, I'll tell you the thing about Trading Monkey. If he really wants to succeed, he needs to put the streaming down. He focuses so much on that stream, especially now that it's become popular. He's kind of riding that celebrity wave way more than he focuses on his trading. So he's worried about his keychains, all these things that he wants to give away. He's worried about the chat. Like, he's never concentrating on trading itself. And until he actually wants to do that, it is what it is. People watch him for entertainment, and that's what he does. He puts on a show. And it is, I have to admit, sometimes when I'm editing, I'll go watch him because he's entertaining. And I'm always curious what he's doing. Smaller than the small account challenge. Oh, I'm still confused what you're getting at. Are you just saying with oh, what happened to my account? I think what happened because it came up in the error. I went to get into a trade, and when I hit the button, it said account closed, and I was like, huh? I was like, what happened there? The day before, I actually requested to withdraw. I had accumulated a few funds from the being an affiliate with them. So if you guys sign up and you use my code, over time I do accumulate some funds from that, and they put it into my account. So the day before, I put in a request to take out the extra, and I always take out the extra and leave what my account was without that. So when I do withdraw from them, I make sure that the account stays where it was, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm fiddling with the numbers there. And so when I did that, I think they saw the request, and for some reason, they just assumed, instead of taking a portion of the amount out, that I was closing the account. And why? I don't know. But I think that's what happened. I gave them a call right when it happened, and within 30 minutes, they fixed it. So it was a little frustrating because I feel like there was at least two trades. I tried one of them, and then I actually tried a second one while I was waiting to see if maybe it fixed itself, kind of thing. And I didn't get either of them. But yeah, it is what it is. It's no different than a day where you try to get filled. There was a trade today. I don't even remember what it was. Actually, I think it was CWH. Yeah, it was. Because no, I don't remember. I said it in the chat, so if I scroll up, maybe I said it. I'd have to find it. But there was a stock today that I tried to get filled, and I just didn't get filled. I hit it, and it dropped so fast that I didn't get filled. You know, oh, no, I can't scroll any further. Okay. Or wait, morning, so it has to be after this. I'm just checking one more second there. I guess not. I don't know where I had typed it. Maybe Brian will know, because I know he got in it, and I remember saying right after I didn't get filled. Was that yesterday? Well, it's actually kind of funny, because I did start doing something a little different today. I can't find it. No, it wasn't GNUS. I didn't even have shares on GNUS. I would have traded that if I did. I remember saying that at some point. That was such a nice move. Look at that. I don't remember. But yeah, that was what happened with the account close thing. I don't know if you guys can hear my kid. He's still crying his ass off. It's kind of frustrating. Makes me want to go up there and try to calm him down, but I know the wife and me have no difference when it comes to that. So anyways, let's get through these other two trades real quick. Save and NCLH. NCLH, the airlines and the cruise lines, all kind of did the same thing today. Let's get rid of these. No, it wasn't save. I actually traded save. But yeah, if we look at save, Delta, American Airlines, CCL. You notice a trend with these charts. RCL, look at them. They all look the same. NCLH. I mean, they're literally like identical. They all traded pretty much the same. And we'll start with a save. I don't know. It wasn't save. I don't remember what it was. I know there was one. I think Double D got it too, or maybe it was Jeff. Let me look one more time. SUP, no. Roku, no. NCLH, no. No. BYD. Was it? No. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was CWH. I really do think it was this one. I think it started coming down and I hit it. I don't remember though. I'm not going to say it because I don't know. Anyways, you're going to make me keep looking. I didn't have shares on JMIA. Did that make a move here? Oh, he's screaming. Kind of off the bottom there. I'm hoping the wife gets up and geez, I can hear him through my noise canceling headphones. Finally, she's going to get him. Okay. Man, look, these things really ran afterwards. All right, so save. This was pretty standard in my eyes. We had yesterday's high, which actually was the open. It was right there. This thing pretty much right out of the gate. We had our previous resistance, which was pretty much the close from yesterday, and it just ran. It consolidated a little here and ran a little bit more. We jumped in. Look, we were basically just looking for this to retest down here, and it went back up the high. It went through that high actually. 76 was that the high on the day? Or obviously not. It ran later on. We were looking to add up closer to 17. Never got there. So we saw this start to fail. And this is what I changed today. So one, look at the volume. I noticed that. And look at the candle. So we had these big old candles with not that much volume. And then we had this really small candle with all this volume. It's usually a good sign. It's going to start to reverse. So when I saw this candle, this red candle, we can scroll on even a little bit more. So when this red candle here, the 1652, that started the break, that was when I was looking to add. Because to me, that's a good signal that we're going to start the backside. So we hit it, and pretty much right after that, this thing shot back up. And it kind of consolidated, but it tried again. And when it failed to go even higher, that's because we entered this as it was coming down, and then it shot back up again. And then when it failed, it started to come. That's when it kicked over to this candle, and we said, okay. It tried one more time, as you can see, and it started to come back down. We hit it again, and we actually doubled our position here. So we started 50, 50, and then we actually doubled here at 100, which I believe we had much more room. Because now when we double here, we're saying, okay, it tried a couple times. We're just going to risk off high of day. So our stop is now at high of day. And we started to come down. I was really looking for this to test. We put an order out there at 40. I believe it was 41. Let me see. It's not going to let me click on it. Yeah, there we go. Yep, 1641. So for 75%, and then we were looking for the rest to go lower. Obviously, this thing just did not want to give it to us. It pretty much shot right after that, right back up towards high of day, failed again, and then it started to form higher lows. And we see this pattern all the time where it starts to form higher lows, it tries to U up, and when it breaks this key area over here, usually it will continue. We saw it happening, so we decided to jump out, and we were kind of right. It tried to do it. It failed, went lower, but then ultimately, as you can see the rest of the day, it did kind of go up just a little bit. Never really an intense move throughout here. Look at all these candles. They're kind of grindy. There was really no like sharp move, so we were never really interested to trade this again. And you'll kind of see the same thing over on NCLH. Same difference. Had that resistance here, 1555. It shot through, went pretty much straight up to 16. And if you zoom in, you'll see the same kind of thing for my ad here. Had a little bit better of an entry on this one. The entry on SAVE was on this candle, and we pulled up the other charts as they were happening. These are right off the scanner as well. Saw NCLH was on there, and we said, hey, we're going to jump into this thing. Pretty much top ticked it, and then as it was coming back down, we added to our position as it broke this candle. 81 was the bottom of that candle. We got 76 as it broke it. Came back down, was testing this previous resistance. We took out 75%, stop at high of day on the rest. It bounced, and I actually contemplated adding there, but I don't know, just didn't. And so if we put this chart next to Save, you'll see Save acted a little bit differently, right? This started to form like kind of a flag, right? Where NCLH, this started to form a descending triangle, right? So we're a little bit more convicted with this one. So when we got out of SAVE, that was like right around here. This wasn't really popping back up through that key area. Save was going back above like this key area here, where NCLH was holding down and trying to break down. So we're a little bit more convinced that we could hold on to our shares a little bit and see what it does. And we knew that a key area was going to be probably right around here, because as you can see, used it here in the pre-market, used it here at the beginning of the day. And when we broke through that, we were kind of excited. We were looking for it to come down, test the close from yesterday. Fortunately, we didn't quite get there. Had a nice bottoming tail here, and the volume started to pick back up a little bit. And so we realized, okay, this is probably where it's going to reverse. And so we took the position off, and that was that. So I was actually pretty happy. I really like the backside ads, and the theory behind it is if we get this first entry, nothing's changing with my strategy. The only thing is when I'm adding to the backside, I just added how I'm adding. I'm not just randomly adding like I was before. I'm not just saying, hey, I think this is the backside and I think this is a good place to add. I now have a little system that I put into place to show me where to add. So systematically I can add on the what I think is the backside every time. So the theory behind this is if we enter the trade here, 87, we get this ad here, 76, and then it goes high of day. Okay, that's fine. This thing didn't really pull back to where I think it should. We're gonna stick with it. So we still have a max loss. So if for some reason this wants to keep running and running and running, and we hit the max loss, then so be it. That's part of the plan. We have to take the max loss and move on, which is a dollar amount. If we hit that, we take it off. But as long as this thing keeps making an extension and it wants to keep going, what we would do if this went high of day again is we would wait for the next time that this happens. So we would let it make a high, and we would look for the break of that candle when it makes a high, and that's where we would look to add. So it's not just add. If it wants to go against this after we've attempted this, then we will look for key spots to hammer what we think is now the backside of the move. And then if it wants to consolidate around that period, we can look to add the rest of our shares at that point, which if you look on my montage here, which I just realized I'm still on the full screen. So I'm very sorry for that. You probably couldn't even really see all of this. But if you look at my montage, I have a button that is called Shares Left. So what that's going to do, if I right click and hit edit real quick, you'll see 100 is in there now. It was 200 when I scaled up, but we scaled back down, so now it's 100. If I have these two entries and say it goes back up and this happens again and we enter, what do we have here? 50. So say we enter 100 up here, right? So it'd kind of be like a 112 in a sense. We would have an average at say 1613 and say the high was 1642, whatever. It will take all of my average, it'll take high of day into consideration, and whatever the current bid price is, when I hit the shares left button, it'll tell me how many shares I have left at the current bid price, so that if it goes to high of day and stops me out, I will lose exactly $100. Not exactly, but as close as it can get to $100. So it's pretty cool. So once I determine that, okay, this is the high that I'm willing to risk off of, I can hit this button and I can add those shares in and I can maximize my position size right then and there. So I'm risking $100 at that point if it goes high of day, but it can turn into a pretty good trade, right? If our average is at 16, 13 or whatever I said it was, and we're looking for a cover, close down to this previous resistance, and VWAP will probably be coming up to that point as well. For 16, 13, assuming we'd have much more than 200 shares, you'd probably have closer to 400 or 500 shares. You're going to make a bit more than $100. So that's the theory behind it. And I really kind of like it. So we're going to, again, the overall strategy is still in place. We're just really defining it now. We're eliminating mistakes is the best way to put it. Things that were kind of put up to chance before, as far as kind of guessing where the best entry would be, is now systematic in a way. Well, it is, right? We're looking for that specific candle. And you're not always going to get this. Sometimes you're going to get something that's like SPAQ, where you get a big move up. And I mean, look at this candle, right? This is a 70-cent candle. So in order for you to find an entry on the backside here, what I'm saying is you'd have to wait for 1776 to crack on this candle and then look to enter. If you were still in this and you wanted to hit the backside, that's where you would look to get your ad, which in this case would have worked out very well. But as you can see, sometimes it's not always very viable, because you're going to have big candles that don't necessarily give you the best way to. I mean, this candle is pretty good, right? It's a smaller candle, the most volume it had seen, and you ultimately get the break of that candle and you get the move back down. It's something you see. It happens all the time, right? Usually when this candle breaks, you're going to get some sort of move back down. Whether it's a full pullback, we don't know that, but the odds are, again, it's all about probabilities. You're trying to put yourself in the best possible position. Find an edge. Find an edge that works. Find an edge that over time works more than it doesn't. That's the whole point of this. And then put your money where your mouth is. It's that simple, with risk management in place, obviously. Okay, so let me catch up on the chat. Chili, do you trade full-time, or is this a side gig? I technically trade full-time, technically. I am a stay-at-home dad. Well, I was. Just this week, literally Wednesday, we made the decision to put our 2-year-old in daycare full-time. And just when this COVID stuff started to end is when he started going for the first time ever. So up until 2 weeks ago, I've been pretty much a full-time stay-at-home dad, and this has been kind of a side thing that I'm trying to make a full-time thing when they're full-time in school, which is now starting to become a thing. The advantage I have is my wife has a well-paying job, and everything is taken care of, and we are very good. I wouldn't say we're the best with money and budgeting, but we're pretty good at it. We have two 2015 cars, GMC Acadia, Nissan Rogue, not that matters. They're paid off. We found a house when we still had both of those car payments that we could afford. We have 2 kids, 2 toddlers, a 2 and 4-year-old now, but back then they were an infant and a 2-year-old. And just, we're doing fine, all on her salary. So if for some reason none of this worked out, we would be fine. And that's an advantage, a huge advantage to me, because I can kind of take my time with this. I don't feel any pressure per se. So your second ad could have been your shares left button hit because you're not going to let it go past high of day. Yes, Thomas, 100%. Thomas calling me out a little bit, but yes, he's right. The reason I didn't do it is because I wasn't 100% convicted. So that's the truth. I didn't really like how SAVE was trading. The only reason I even added this second time was because we were so close to high of day, and it was just it kept rejecting here. And really, this candle here, we had already added before it came up here and made this top. I was really confident I wasn't really confident because, as you can see right here, we had pretty much the same thing, but the opposite. It tried to break down, but it didn't. And when it just kind of hung out here for a second before we hit the button, and I was like, all right, it rejected. You know what? I'm just gonna take the ad here. Hey, at least I didn't just do 111. I did double the size, so there's a plus there. And I did say I'm gonna risk high of day now because that was kind of me committing to the trade. But Thomas is right. If I really wanted to commit to the trade and get full size, I would have hit the full shares left button, and that would have been a much bigger winner. But it still worked out. George D, what's up, man? Speaking of George D, as you can see, he has the little dollar next to his name. That's because he's a high-level support member. I appreciate that very much. And we do have our first Saturday night live stream of this month. We do 2 a month. And basically, during those Saturday nights, we talk about strategy, just strategy. We don't talk about none of the, extracurricular stuff like my family and stuff like that. We just literally, we sign on, we load up the live stream, just us. It's a group of us, and we say, hey, let's talk about strategy, whether it's my strategy, your strategy, just overall strategy, just learning the market. But we make sure that we dedicate that time to learning. Like we're obviously learning, but we're also BSing and having fun here on Friday night. But that Saturday night, it's business. It's all business. And I believe George, the reason he has the dollar is because he's been here for over a month now. So thanks, man. I appreciate that. You're the wife. I want to see Tim do his technical analysis. Then GDT comes in and says, nope, that's wrong. I mean, I don't think GDT would disagree with much that I say. I mean, I'm sure everybody disagrees with everybody at some point. Are you laughing at the kid and my wife, Brian? Or are you laughing at Addedly trying to stir up commotion, or both? Speaking of cool stuff, I am going to be doing, again, I disagreed when you left the 112. I mean, I didn't leave it. It's still 112. Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong. GDT's not lying there. I think everybody knows that. Oh, I just noticed my wife messaged me. What did she say? I'm so over these effing kids. The funny part is it was the other kid yesterday, and now it's this kid. Now I agree with GDT. I am always changing something, but I've gotten better to where I'm not now changing the actual strategy. The strategy itself is still the same. I am simply perfecting it in my way, right? Anyone will tell you that has any clue about the market. There's thousands of different ways to trade. Until you actually find the one that works for you, then keep looking. And that's what I'm doing. I'm still looking. What GDT is doing works for him. What Brian does is working for him. What Jeff does works for him. Addedly, whatever you're doing, it works for you. Whatever Dario is doing works for him. Whatever George is doing, it works for him. That's all there is to it. You got to find what works for you. And what works for me, I think I'm finding it, right? That's all there is to it. If it takes me this long to find it, so be it. It took me this long to find it. But guess what? Hopefully I eventually find it. That's all that matters. I need a new button. Backside ad, 15 entries, one and done. Button should be yellow. What? No, wait, green. No, orange. Hey, I like my orange buttons. Get off me. Yeah, don't even ask David. David's on my side. Throw David under the bus there. Nah, David is the other one at that likes to talk to me a lot while I like to while I like to go over my thoughts about everything. And he listens. I appreciate you, David. But you already know that. All right, where were we? Oh, the giveaway for 2,000 subs because you guys are awesome. I think I narrowed it down. We're going to be doing 2 weeks of the ISW scanners for anybody that is in here that doesn't have them. But I think most of you already do. Everyone talking anyway, except for Adley. But Adley will never win a giveaway on this channel. Yeah, David actually is the one after my loss on Wednesday that said, stop thinking it's the strategy. He's like, go look at your charts. He's like, I know you already did, but go look at them again. Realize you didn't do anything wrong. It's just they didn't work, and it was 3 trades in the same day that just didn't work, and they added up. It sucks. Addedly, unfortunately, I don't know. I'm getting better at that though. I am getting better at my green trades getting closer to my red trades. So it is what it is when it comes to that. We're getting there. It's a process, guys. It really is. You guys can beat me up all you want. I can take it. I know what I'm doing. I know that it might take longer than a lot of people want it to take. I know that you might be watching my journey and you're like, man, this guy's just dragging along. He's changing everything. He's doing this. He's doing that. But hey, that's my process. That's how I do it. If it's going to take me longer than it would take someone else, then so be it. But I don't think it will. I think we're really starting to get somewhere. And yeah, Justin is very good at giving passive-aggressive jokes, just like my brother Justin. We can't all be GDT and just be green every single day and mistakenly go short 550 shares and walk away with like an extra $400 that I didn't even know I had sitting there. It is locked. Today it is locked. The screen door is there, but it's locked. It's easy. Just don't go red. Was it yesterday, B, that you were fighting like 3 or 4 stocks all at once? The P&L where I lost 300? For what? I mean, I will, but for what reason? If there's something to learn there, I have no problem doing it. But I think we've learned everything that we need to. You were getting mugged. You could like tell through your text that you were getting pretty pissy. It was kind of funny. You know, I've thought about it. I've been watching some people on YouTube trade options lately, and I've been seeing that it's pretty easy. Everywhere I look on YouTube, it's just green trades everywhere. Apparently, I'm the only one on YouTube that can't trade and make money. Addedly, are you just an upset person? Like, are you just upset at life? Like, I feel that there's a difference between somebody trying to give constructive criticism and somebody that is just trying to be a dick. And I feel like you're just trying to be a dick. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, but we know this. That is what we're trying to fix. This is exactly what I try to talk about all the time. That's why I have the risk management in place, because I am trying to figure out how to make my green trades closer to my red trades at the same time keeping my win percentage above 80%. That's the other thing people don't understand. The higher the win percentage, and this is in most cases, Brian is an exception. In most cases, the higher the win percentage, usually the lower risk to reward ratio that you will have. It's just that simple. If you want to, you can trade looking to get 5-1 on every single trade. So you would lose 100, but every time you win, you would win 500. But you're going to be losing 90% of the time, most likely. You're probably going to, like, your win percentage is going to be probably 20% or below. Or can you do that? Some people can. I wouldn't be able to. I'd rather win 80% of the time and it be 1 to 5. Am I making money? Yes. Is it a lot of money? No. Right? It's a grind. But the more you trade, if it's still 80%, it's just going to build and it's going to build. So it's really however you want to work the system per se. You didn't hit a nerve. I'm just kind of, I feel bad for you. I just feel like instead of trying to support and learn together, you're not doing that in a polite way. 90% of trading is between the ears. It takes years to master. Stay the course. Thanks, man. And I understand that. And that's what I'm trying to get at here is I've been trading since August of 2018. I haven't been doing this for 2 years. I didn't start trading the way that I'm attempting to trade until February of 2019. And then even in there, I took a month break. And then I also took like 3 months trying different strategies within kind of the same strategy. So I haven't even really been trading the same way for over a year. So, I mean, no one's going to master anything in this field. And if you do, there is a thing called luck where whether David believes it or not, I don't believe in luck either. I do believe that luck is not really a thing. Statistical probabilities and coincidences, those are much more probable. But anyways, what I'm getting at with that is somebody can run hot. You ever play poker? You can run card dead or you can run really hot. Sometimes you're just going to get hands and everything hits, right? You're just going to be hitting everything. And there's going to be some times where you're just card dead. You don't get any hands. And when you do finally get aces that one time, they end up getting cracked, right? You can run in streaks. So even if for the first year somebody runs really hot, say they turn their $25,000 account into $500,000, well, guess what? They didn't learn anything along the way because everything just worked for them. So they think they know everything. They think that they have it figured out. And then guess what? When they start losing and they get humbled and they don't have risk management, they don't have all these parameters set in place because they've never had to before, they give it all back. You hear the stories all the time. People do it all the time. There's professional traders that have been at it for 5, 10 years. They built up a stack doing the same thing over and over again, only to find out they got crippled by like 1 or 2 trades over a 5 to 10 year career. It happens. Like when this crash happened, there was a lot of people that lost all their money on one trade. So take it for what it is. Yeah, addedly, I'm going to tell you too, since you're obviously following along and criticizing all of this, a lot of it was unfortunate times of scaling. When I first came back to doing the 112 system, I started really small, just to get back into it and say, this is what I want to do. Of course, while I was really small, winning $5, $7, and $8 a trade, I was only risking $50 a trade on those, by the way. I went on like a 24 trade win streak. I couldn't lose, right? I said, hey, okay, this is working. Obviously, we just won 24 trades in a row. Let's scale up. So I doubled it. I went to 100. And it was like the first day I lost $100. So yeah, it looks that way. And that literally just happened again. I scaled up again on Monday. And look at what happened. The third day in, I had 3 trades in one day, all not work. And so yes, it looks like a really bad day. And there's nothing I can do about that. It was just unfortunate timing. Like I said, there's coincidences, and that just happens to be one of them. So beat me up all you want, Adley. Go for it. Even Hoover says he's a troll. Yeah, I know this from the past. I always wonder if people try to like get themselves kicked or banned, and I'm just not going to do it. You can try all you want, and until you start like saying like if you start saying mean things to other people, if you start like cursing nonstop, or if you start saying things that shouldn't be said, then that's a different story. But if you just want to keep trying to beat me up that way, it's fine. It's actually pretty good for me because I can explain whatever you think you're explaining. Cons in the house. What's up, man? I've mastered pissing off my wife. Trading is next. I love it. Yes, luck is when you accidentally make $300. Again, think about it though, GDT. Is it really luck? Or did you just sell out of your position and accidentally get into a position? The reason you sold out of that position is because you assumed that was the end of the run to the upside. So you were technically getting out at a point where you thought that it was going to stop going up, hence you sold your position. So coincidentally, you happened to oversell by hitting the wrong montage, and you ended up in a good position because of it. So is that luck? Yeah, if there's a thing called luck, that would definitely go into the luck category, but could also just be a coincidence that it happened that way. It scared the F out of me. It was pretty funny. B loves Friday. B is probably drunk on martinis. Just need to raise your percentage positions, in my opinion. David said it only takes one hole in your system to lose it all. It's very true. At least until your account gets big enough. No, yeah, I agree. And that's what we're trying to do. These last 2 days, we still made $50 a day, where if we were still on the old risk, it would have been $100 a day, and we would have made 200 of that 300 back. So instead of 100 of the 300. So it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. We're living to fight another day. That's all I have to say, right? That's what it comes down to. Weekend finally. You're happy for the weekend, Constantine? Get out of here. When I run into a cold streak, I scale back and only trade a quality setup, and if it's not there, I don't trade. That's how it's. I agree with that 100%. And that's the other thing. I used to get a lot of hate for not trading. So it was kind of frustrating for a little while. Not trying to get banned, just telling you red days are 4x as green days. Okay. But I have so many more green days. Like I don't quite understand what you're getting at. Like I'm just gonna pull it up just for a sec. So real quick, if we go to the dashboard, I'm still up $50. Let me go to the line. And keep in mind, you saw I'm at 80%. I'm usually like up over 85%, but that's not the point here. Let me make this a little bigger. Okay. So right here, I think it was the 29th. This was all risking $50 a trade. And that's why these were such small gains. So the overall looks bad, but you have to remember, I was at one point in this whole chart, which is only from May 8th. So in 2 months, I went from risking $50. Towards the end, I was risking $200. So keep that in mind. That's why this looks like this. So the first day, it was like the second day I was risking $100 a trade. I actually had a $130 winner. So eat it, addedly. I have trades where I make more than I risk. People don't pay attention to those. They only pay attention to the losers. That's why when you have a red day on YouTube, that gets more views than when you have green days. You have green days, nobody cares. It's what everyone expects, I guess. But when you have red days, everyone likes to flock to that video to say, oh, I told you so, you're going to have a red day. But okay, anyways. So again, here we're risking 100, and then we actually ran into a pretty cold streak. We just couldn't really get anything going, and we kind of started coming down. But they weren't all big losers. These were just like 2 trades that didn't work out. Then we started coming back up. Then we had more. It was just I remember these 2 weeks. It was just bad. Like nothing was working. But then we started to come right back up, right? We were coming back up. And then this is when we had one loser here, started to come back up. And then boom, the $300 day. It is what it is, right? We scaled up right here. We said, okay, we're okay. Like after this week, we were like, I don't know if I want to scale back down, blah, 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 blah. We just kept the course and we were doing fine. We said, okay, all right, let's do it. Let's scale up and let's try to make something happen. I should have never scaled up here. We weren't ready yet. Account-wise, really. I was really pushing the envelope a little bit of YouTube pressure, a little bit of wife pressure, just wanting to make more money pressure. So you should never do it for the wrong reasons, right? And I paid for it a little bit. Took 3 trades. It was literally the 3rd day into this week. We took that Wednesday. We took the hit. But you have to realize, if we were trading the same size, if we were risking the same $200 if we're using the same share size as we were here throughout all of this, all of this would be much higher, right? And then this $300 hit wouldn't really look like anything. I mean, it would still look like something, but it wouldn't look as bad. So risking 50 and 100 for more than half of this chart, and then losing 300 while risking 200 a trade, we're still green overall. So there you go. You happy? Anyways, so if you're following along, what I'm trying to get at is we're in a weird period in my career. I'm not someone you can show up to and I'm risking the same amount every single day. I'm not, because I'm building an account. So if I'm building a small account, over time, I'm eventually going to try to scale up, and then I'm going to try to scale up again. So the numbers are going to change. So if you want to say because you literally were saying, oh, you're making $7, $8 a trade. Yeah, that was back when I was risking $50 a trade. But then you said I lost 100. There's no way I lost 100 while I was only risking 50. I don't do that. That's the old Tim. I don't do that. Risk management is number 1. Risk management and becoming consistent. Those are the 2 most important things in trading. You master those, you're good to go. You can make $50 a day, which I'm trying to do right now. Again, you can make $100 a day. You can make $200 a day. You can make $500 a day. It's all about just scaling up. You doing the same exact thing. But what I found out is I'm still not consistent. I still don't have a strategy that I can do every single time repeatedly. And that's why I didn't mind scaling back down after that big loss, because I realized, hey, you know what? I'm still kind of just assuming stuff. Like I have a general idea, and I have a very good idea of what I'm supposed to do, but I don't have it down to a T. Not yet. I'm getting very close. And like GDT was saying earlier, yes, I'm tinkering. I do tinker a lot. But guess what? It's just what I'm doing right now. When you first started trading, what did you do? Did you just know how to trade exactly how you do now? Not a effing chance. You had to figure it out. You had to try a bunch of different things. You had to do all these different things to find what works. So, what's that? What do they say? Get off me, bro. Brah. All right, let me catch up here. I feel like I missed a lot. Shots? Pay me. $10. I'll take a shot. Fuck it. Can we address that too? Who the F drinks martinis? Just be. It's so true. He reminds me of Alan from 2.5 Men when he would always get the apple martini. Do you fund your account monthly? No. Believe it or not, I am still just chugging along on the original amount, trying to build it up. I'm just waiting for my wife to tell me that it's because I'm talking. Oh, there's the message. Oh no, that was just the old one. I guess I never clicked on it. B and Kermit the Frog. Or is what you have what you have? Yeah, what I have is what I have. That is very true. Yes. I am building up. From my umpiring money, I put some of that into an Interactive Brokers account, and I tried to trade using their software. I hated it. So I decided to just make that the free account. So the money's still just sitting there. And I'm slowly building money in a savings account as well, from like affiliate commissions and stuff like that, so that I can eventually get the 25,000 to put into Interactive Brokers and use DOS over there. So I can just make the switch and not have to worry about PDT and stuff. So, but I will keep the CMEG account because it'd be silly not to. There are still times where CMEG has some shares available that even Lightspeed and Interactive Brokers don't. So it could be valuable to keep just for that reason. Do you use margin? Archie asks. Yes, I very much use margin. 6-1 over here at CMEG. So on a $4,000 account, it gives me 24,000 in margin to use. Martinis at lunch, whiskey for dinner, and what's for dessert? Whiskey martini. Appreciate that, David. David said, we love you. We got you. Well, if you guys got, there's 24 of you here, hit that like button. Now, if you all hit the like button, maybe the YouTube algorithm will say, hey, there's 11 more people out there that could click this button and come into the stream. And if they do, we could do the balls giveaway. That'd be pretty cool, huh? Hey, man, but seriously, though, you need to get better RR when trading. 1-to-1 is good, but from your stats, you're pretty much set at 0.5-to-1. So even if you increase your share size, those losses will be bigger than your wins. So yes, you're not wrong. But again, the higher the win percentage usually means the lower your risk to reward ratio is. It's just, go look it up. Like I don't really know any other way to explain it. There's a bunch of people out there that it's like a chart where if you're at 90%, you're down here with risk to reward ratio. And the closer, like the further you go win ratio, your risk to reward ratio goes up. So if you're looking to make 10-to-1 every single trade, you're going to go from 90% to 10%, but your risk reward ratio goes all the way up here. So you see what I'm doing there? So it's really finding what works best for you and trying to maximize it. I don't disagree with you, but every single trade, if you're risking $100 and you're only making $50, but your win percentage is 80-85%, that's good. Like here, let's just pull out the calculator. So if out of 10 trades, say we're 80%, so 2 of them you lose. So we're minus 200 right off the bat. But then if you make $50 8 times, so 8 times 50 is 400, you're still making $200. Or let's say you're risking 1 to make 5, so 500 every time you win. You lose 100 every time you lose, but you're at 30%. So 30% would be 3 times 500, and then you would lose 100 the 7 times. So it'd be 700. So that way you can make $800. But, and I'm pretty sure that would be really good. If you're winning 30% of the time and you're making 5-to-1 on your money, that's probably really good. I feel like that's a little high. But even so, you see what I'm getting at. You'd have to be able to want to only win 30% of the time, but you can make money. It's just, it's whatever way you want to do it. I'd rather win more. It's just who I am. And as long as you have that risk management in place, yes, you do need to try to win a certain amount, but you could get away with winning even less than that $50 a trade. It really doesn't matter how you want to do it. But all right, let me catch up. Chris, what's up, man? Chris Duran, how you doing, man? Oh, it's one of those nights with the kids, as you can hear, I'm sure. I hope you can figure it out and develop into the pro. I hope so too. I appreciate your support. See, that addedly, if you're still here, I see that you are. That's how you do it. You mention something, but you still support, right? I'm not saying I'm sensitive and I need the support. I'm just saying, don't just be a jerk nonstop. 0.5 to 1 is okay if you have a high win rate. It's all about the balance between the two. Yeah, David, thank you. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what I just explained. Are you in 6 to 1 margin? Yes, I think I said that. Yeah, and you said nice after that, okay? But that is being generous. He's probably below 0.5. Yeah, you'd probably be right there. I'm probably closer to like 0.35 to 4. I've actually done that calculation before, and I agree. And patience is one of my hard things. And I've been asked David. It's something we talk about a lot. I've been getting a lot better at it. We actually just talked about it today some too. I'm really debating DOS and Sterling. DOS is the pro platform, but I hate how difficult it is to use, while Sterling is way more user-friendly, but people have many opinions. Once you get used to DOS, it's pretty easy. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty basic, actually. There's not much to it. You can make it difficult. Like if you're trying to put certain features or use the hot buttons and stuff like that, you can make it difficult, but I would say it's pretty easy. I don't know. It's just me though, and I have been using it for a while. When I used Sterling, I just didn't like how, I don't know, it just felt laggy to me. Maybe all the feature-rich things of Sterling just kind of made it feel, the charts felt a little laggy. Also, I'm not hating. I'm just giving my viewpoint. If he disagrees, then it's okay. I'm just putting that's what this is all about. I want you guys to interact. I want you guys to give your feedback. That's how you learn. If you can't take constructive criticism, then you're not going to make it anywhere. It's part of the game. I want to learn from other people. So if you can teach me something, please try. That's the whole point of this. Don't stop. Don't ever stop doing that. Have you ever used black box trading? No, I have not. Never heard of that. Do you have a plan of increase your share size to 500? Eventually. Yeah, eventually it will be there. July 8th is what I'm referring to. That's all I'm going to say in terms of our units. What was July 8th? Was that the $300 day? Yes. How many times are we going to talk about it? What do you want me to say? If you're looking at the winners on those days, I don't know what to tell you. Not all winners are going to be the same. When you're trading this strategy, you don't have a set risk or reward per se. Like every trade, I'm not going to make a certain amount versus risking a certain amount. It's just not how this strategy works. Came in late, and I'm sure you have answered this a bunch of times, but what was your initial deposit into CMEG? My initial deposit, I want to say it was 5,000. I think it was 5,000. Pretty positive. Actually, yeah, now I'm thinking about it. Oh no, here comes the Friday night math. Yeah, I'm not very good at Friday night math. Especially when I'm drinking, but I'm not drinking tonight. Let's see. Hey, I did pretty good, I think. 1-to-1, you need to be 50% accurate, be better than 50%. Yeah, if you're trading 1-to-1, you need to be more than 50% accurate. If you guys remember, if you were following the channel, I want to say probably like 3-4-ish months ago, I was trying a 1-to-1 strategy, and I was basically trying to be right on the first entry, and if I was wrong, I got out at 1-to-1. And I found out that I wasn't as accurate as I thought I was on that first entry trying to play the front side. So yeah, that didn't work out too well. I think it was like 53%, and after fees, commissions, all that stuff, 53% on a 1-to-1 strategy is not going to cut it. Addedly looking for ammo. No, I want to be tested. Reading Hubert. Is it Hubert? Am I saying that right? Hubert? I feel like it's Hubert. Havert. I don't know. You have to correct me. Hovert. Okay, perfect. So I said it right the first time. Hovert. I am sensitive and do need the support. I'm so sensitive. Just don't lose. It makes things easier. Famous words from GDT. Just don't lose. It's that simple. I never cursed or said anything mean. Don't be so soft. No, I said don't curse or say anything mean, and you're fine. Hence, you're still here talking. I said that's the only way that you can get yourself banned or muted, whatever you want to call it. Hey Tim, CMEG credited my platform fee for life. Awesome. Yeah, I remember we talked about that last week. Awesome, Archie. Good to hear. Did that just happen on its own? Or did you call him this week and get it sorted out? I'm actually curious. I'm with GDT. Much better plan. Just don't lose. Yeah, well, one day. One day. In my opinion, sometimes not going by risk reward matters. Watching and reacting to the price action is more important. Don't wait for your stop loss is hit to get out of the trade. Comes back to quality setup. See, look, for every one person that has a point of view, somebody has the opposite point of view. It's just how it is. One life, one chance is he's speaking how I trade. Like everything he's saying, he gets my side of it. Where Addedly and Vise, they might be on the other side of it. Again, there's thousands of ways to make money in the market. I've proven that even with that $300 loss after scaling up just before it happened, I'm still profitable. So yeah, the risk to reward might not be perfect, but what I'm doing is working. It's just a matter of figuring it all out in the grand scheme of things. Whoa, don't have a set risk to reward with this strategy. I'm out. What are you talking about? I have a set risk management. Every trade, I've said it all night. There's a max loss. I've said it every time. There's a max loss. That the amount that I'm taking, like One Life, One Chance just said, it can be different every trade. If it comes down, say I'm looking for VWAP every single time, but I'm reading the price action and it clearly doesn't want to get the VWAP. I'm not just going to let it go all the way back up and stop me out. So this trade, I might make a little bit less because it clearly doesn't want to go down and hit VWAP. So I took it off a little bit early. I paid myself for being in the trade. I'm not going to sit here and let it go back up the high day and stop me out because I had a set target and it is what it is. It's like there are people out there that do that. They get into a trade and they set it 2-1, 3-1, 5-1, 10-1, whatever it may be, and either it hits or it doesn't. But that's not what you're doing with these types of strategies. When you're playing a counter trend type strategy, the odds are you're going to have to play some sort of price action. You're going to have to read what the stock is doing. It's that simple. It's not as simple as playing a breakout pattern and you risk at a certain point and it's a set risk trade. It's just not how it works. So that's what I was saying. I'm not saying I don't have set risk. I'm just saying that you don't know where that you're going to be risking off of every single trade. Anyway, man, you are right. If it works for you, then it's cool. I'm just saying my opinion, but I strongly believe that in the long term, any RR below 1-to-1 is just wasting your time. I mean, there's a lot of people in this chat right now that would disagree with you. I mean, is there anybody else that wants to jump in the chat? I'm not trying to start an argument here. I would just like to hear from the other people out there that trade on a daily basis that most of their wins are not 1-to-1. That's all I'm getting at here. I'm not trying to prove you wrong, Vise, at all. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm just trying to let you know there is another side. That's all I'm trying to say. Have you tried risking cents instead of dollar amount? What do you mean by that, Archie? And you called them? Okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, if you call them, they're usually pretty good. How long were you on the phone with them? It's pretty quick, I would assume. They're pretty good once you get them on the phone. It can be a little hard to understand them every once in a while, but you once you get them on the phone, they're pretty good at solving everything. Even with one, if I could get 1-to-1 on my trades, I'd be making boatloads of money. That's all I'm gonna say. Even with 1-to-1, your win rate will depend on how wide your stop is as well. That's very true. I would say the strat is profitable. It's the emotions that we all need to work on. That's so true. Brian's just laughing. GDT 1-to-1 sucks. I think it's to each their own. Nothing is written in rocks. It's true. It's not about being right. It's about making money. AN, thank you. That's very true too. I'm pretty sure AN is on your side, sort of, Vise and Addedly, but at the same time, he's right. It's all about making money. So true. I guess David, I know how David trades. Any given trade, he's willing to risk a set amount, right? He's willing to let a trade go against him to a set amount. And on average, he's not making anywhere near that amount, right, David? If you want to kind of continue, but he's making, I don't know, like 15, 20-ish percent of that amount. But the win percentage is so high that it's profitable. So, yeah. 5 minutes? Oh, you're on the phone for 5 minutes. Okay. I thought you were because I had asked you what you meant about risking cents instead of dollar amounts. I was still curious about that. I go all in on stock sometimes, and people don't like doing that. My account is small, though, only 5.3K. I obviously scale in, not 100% on one buy order. YOLO. But again, everyone has a different risk tolerance too. So I think zero point 0.5 to 20 to 1 is acceptable depending on the setup. Is that a troll statement? I feel like that's a troll statement. Yeah, I know the chat's delayed a little bit. It shouldn't be too bad though. I think I was just behind. I'm finally caught up here. I like 20 to 1. I stand by my just don't lose theory. Yeah. If you could make 20 to 1 on trades, you would only need to win 1 out of every 20 times. That's 5%. Just to break even, you'd only have to win 5% of the time. So even if you're winning 10% of the time, 1 out of every 10 trades, if you can make 20 to 1, that you'd be making some pretty good money. If I actually do that within my journal, believe it or not. I do keep track of like separate things. Yeah, and I do like for instance, like I always wait until the end of day to take my chart. Like I'll come end of day and I'll copy this chart instead of like during the day I might post charts like right after the trades, but end of day I'll always come back and I'll take a quick snippet of the full chart so that I can go back in my journal and see what the trade did the rest of the day. Look at the volume that it had at the beginning of the day versus the rest of the day. Like just I look for other things. I study charts basically. I'm always looking for a way to get better. I'm always looking for a way to get better. David loves going back through his charts. He's probably got like 50 different studies for each chart. Just go long Tesla last week. Easy. My risk reward varies depending on the market. It could go under 1 to 1 to 1 to 3 if I'm lucky. I'm fine going under 1 to 1 if my accuracy is on point. Yeah, that's what I said. The higher win percentage you have, you're okay with a lower risk reward ratio. It's just how it is. I was using 2 to 1. 6 to 1 is going to be insane if I ever get approved for CMEG. Been about 3 weeks, so about 3 more months and I should be trading. I told you, call them. And then again, I don't know your situation. If it's something that they're waiting on you to send, I don't know what it is, but I recommend calling. Always calling CMEG is better. That's I always tell everyone. If you're having an issue with CMEG, pick up the phone, give them a call. It's so much quicker. Something you've been waiting for 3 weeks, you could solve in one phone call, or at least get the information on why it's being held up. Excuse me. Trading is so easy. Just buy low and sell high. You know, in the grand scheme of things, Brian's right. And AN, don't tell Brian to buy high and sell higher because he does it. He does. He YOLOs into those positions all the time. Like alt. I think he's actually short alt still. But this is something that would remind me, like on over here on these candles here, randomly at 11 o'clock or 10:45, whenever this happened, was it 10:40? He would just be like YOLO alt long just because. Oh, he did one today. U1, but alt is something. I'm sure this kind of looks. Yeah, it looks exactly the same. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm convinced B is really a market maker. B just lets the stocks run against them on purpose just to make it look legit, and then he always brings it back down. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he'll just randomly buy high and sell higher. It happens. But hey, when you're playing with house money, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with breakout strategies. They work. I always say, like, take U1 for instance, minus, I guess these were these all halts? Was this yeah, there was a halt here. So just one halt. But take for instance, say I scaled into this trade, got an entry here, and then say we use that strategy, right? Comes up, makes a new high, breaks this candle, we get a second entry here. Say we take out part of our position somewhere in here when we see it finding a base or whatever, comes up, stops us out high of day. So the odds are, like I was just saying to GDT before, I'll grab it here in a sec, Bri. Did we just move to Bri? Did I just call you Bri? Did we just advance a level? I feel like we just became homies. You didn't even know it. Anyways, like GDT did with his mistake trade that he didn't know he was in, he was selling because he knew that was the right place to sell because he thought it had exhausted itself to the upside and it was probably going to make a pullback. So the odds are when you break high of day, you're going to get an extension, right? It's just kind of what stocks do. So there's nothing wrong with that. I always say the reason I'm selling or covering the rest of my position at high of day is because it's most likely going to keep going if it does break high of day. So, and I've talked about this forever. Why not reverse positions? And I've tried it a couple times, but CMEG hates reversing positions. Instead of it being a market order, for some reason, it makes it a limit order when you put too many shares in. So if it skips through your order, not only do you not get filled for the reversal position, but you don't get filled to stop out of your position either. So both times that I've tried to do that, I've had to cancel and just cover the position manually, and it was kind of annoying. But anyways, yeah, exactly, David. I've tried. I don't know if it's a broker thing. I don't know if it's a route thing. I don't know what it is, but CMEG does not like when you try to flip positions. But when I put stops, when I put my stop in, I always use markets, right? Because if you use limit, it makes you put the price in up here too. Like I would have to put 1676 in this case. And then it would let me put the order in there. But if you use market, you only put it down here. And I always only put it down here. And what I was doing, if I had 200 shares, I would put 400. But for some reason, when you put that order in, it would go through that on not only the ask, but the bid too, with no fill. And then the one time I let it go, and it actually came back down, and when it hit that price that was in there, it filled me at that price. And then it did give me the extra shares too. And then, of course, it went down because it was a fake out breakout. But I gave it a second. It actually did end up breaking back up anyways. But that wasn't the point. The point was it should have filled you right away. So I was confused at why it did that, and it did it twice. So I'm convinced I have to call him and ask, I guess, but it does not act like a market order. definitely double click much faster. That's true. I never thought about that. You shouldn't have to double click though, right? If you just put the order in for twice the amount, it should just do it. You shouldn't have to double click. I guess that would be my point there. All right, let me pull up the chart real quick. What did you send me all these charts for? The MGI chart? Did you send me the MGI chart for a reason? Or mRNA, AMCX? Or was that just you sent the wrong thing? Go over there. Thank you. All right, there we go. Here's Brian's U1 chart. So it looks like he shorted and had a nice cover here. And then he bought the breakout, I think. Or did you go short and then cover? No, it looks like that one's to the left. Say bought, sold, bought. Jesus. That's definitely buy high and sell higher. Oh, that's funny. That's great. But you were using a hit button, weren't you? Hot button. No, I wasn't. There was no code. It was a manual. I was manually putting the price in. So I would hit P for position. My position would load. I would double it. Like I said, if it was 200, I would put 400. And I would do everything else the same. Stop, market, and then I would put the price in where I wanted to stop out. So essentially, when I stop out, it should stop me out and give me more shares. But it didn't. And I know the order worked because the first time I did it, I let it go because it went through, didn't fill me, and I let it come back down, and it filled me then, and I didn't touch anything. So I know the order works, but I think for some reason it registers it as a limit order. I don't know. I don't know why it did that. You're trying to save. Yeah, that's true too. AN's not wrong there. Don't double click. I gotta save those commissions. If B alerts a stock and I get in 2 minutes later, I get just grabbing some inventory early. It was a SS cover, reverse, money on the way. Gotcha. So you shorted, covered, and then bought even higher. And then it just kept going. Squeeze, baby, squeeze. Reverse and add. Well, I think I officially ran out of things to talk about. Moving forward, I definitely didn't get to moving forward. I guess I can show you guys the weekends. Hey, look at that. It's not a bad one for this weekend, especially after my last 2 days, or even just Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as Adderley would like to constantly remind me of. It says recharge and repeat. It's a pretty good one. I like that one. Very true. Just be on the right side of the momentum. It's so true. But yeah, moving forward, I like to think I got a pretty good system in place. Today, I mean, I already had a good system in place. I just need to get brave and hit the backside, which I've been doing. And it feels right. And now I have a system to actually hit the backside, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna, I think, cut this off, guys. The little one is still, it's 10:30. He's still going. It might be because he hears me. I don't know. I don't want to be the cause for him to stay up too much later. Plus, the wife has been in there enough, so I'm going to go up there and try to help out if I can. I don't know what that pineapple's for, GDT, but it's scary. Feels right, doesn't sound right. Wait, you're saying the strategy doesn't sound right, or me saying feels right doesn't sound right? Now I'm curious. But with that said, Saturday night, tomorrow night, if you guys are a high-level support member, if you're not, hit the little join button down there. You can become one. We're doing strategy talk tomorrow night, 9 Eastern. Oh, hitting the backside feels right. I got you. That's why I like saying it. I see what you're getting at. I'm a little too tired. I'm worried about the kid. But yeah, if you want to join us for some strategy talk, hit the join button, and we will do that tomorrow night. But until then, have a good weekend, and I will see you guys Monday. Peace.
I can learn to understand you much better if I can